Hi, today I want to talk about 10 must-haves, especially in week 1 of homeschooling journey to make homeschooling stress-free and a cherishable experience. Now, while on one hand, we are excited, we are committed, we have taken on this important decision to start homeschooling, but on the other hand, we can be somewhat daunting because, ultimately, the direct impact of our child's success and how his life turned out depends on us, right? What if he doesn't cooperate? What if he doesn't complete, all his homework? What if he fail in his exam? What if he fail in life? All these are valid questions. So I have just completed week 1 of homeschooling with my child, 7-year-old, and so I've reflected on this 1 week and I've compiled these lessons into 10 must-haves. Number 1, contract. It is very important to have this contract in my mind because this is an idea adapted from my previous profession, where it is like guiding principles before we start any project. Guiding principles, what does it include? Like why it is important to do homeschooling, what does success look like, what are the key success factors, what are the possible constraints, what are the possible reasons that can lead to homeschooling being a failure. And lastly, we both will sign and agree that we abide by these principles. Now, this whole process of completing the contract is a co-creation. I sit down with him to draft this together. A lot of it is his words. We literally use his words. Why? Because it is very important to be inclusive. I treat him like an adult, like an equal, and this shows that I value his opinions, and he definitely can feel this, right? So this fosters positive self-image, confidence, and of course ultimately respect for me as well, and also for himself. Number 2 is fun. Now, happiness is so important. When we think happy and positive thoughts, our body, our brain will naturally release chemicals called serotonin and dopamine. And these chemicals, not only does it help us form connections faster in our brain, it also, help to really form those strong connections that can help with our brain capacity to problem solve, to retain information, so they can really absorb information much faster. So one best practice I've learned to put the child in a happy place is to really have a genuine discussion or conversation with the child about something that he truly loves. This can be before you start the homeschooling day, or it can be by the end of the day, or anytime you feel the child is in a stressful mode. So for example, my boy loves to teach me about his favorite toy now, which is singing monsters. He will tell me what it is, and we will share what our favorite character is, and he will tell me why, and I will tell him why. So definitely put him in a happy place because it shows that I really value his opinion. I really listen to what he has to say. Now the third one is taking breaks. Studies have actually shown, right, that taking breaks actually reduces our stress level, and from there definitely increase productivity and also stronger desire to go above and beyond. Now this is so key. So during the breaks, I would, for my boy, actually we will do together some shaking bum exercise. Now this, when talking about it, is also already very funny. Doing it is actually really fun because this action alone is the fastest way to actually put us in a happy mode, in a happy place. And from the happy place, again, we can perform better before moving on to our next task. Another thing we can do during breaks is have his favorite snacks. So for example, my boy really loves strawberry. So during these snacks, I will give him those, right? Now next one, 4th point, is role modeling. Why is role modeling so important? We all know this, but why? Now, children is like a white sheet of paper, and they don't know what they don't know. But as human, as social animal, they love to imitate what the people they love and respect do. Why? Because if they do this, people like people who are like them, right? So they naturally, I think subconsciously, children even know this as well. So if they follow what I do, they know that I will love him more as well. So it's all about increase that social acceptance. So role modeling is so key. So one thing that, very interestingly is I have done daily gratitude list for the past few months, and have seen me done it. And this week he actually used his journal and write down things that he's grateful for without me even asking it, and he enthusiastically follow what I do, which is writing down the things I'm grateful for and then say it out, followed by 3 times of thank you.
I am grateful that Wang Chung is smart to play the puppet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you!
I'm so happy that, he actually do this, because gratefulness is such an important habit, and it is so key if we can instill them since young, because if you are grateful, you cannot think of negative thought at the same time. So the more times that you're grateful in a day, the more positive emotions that you will have versus negative emotions, because we can only have one dominant thoughts or feelings or emotions at one time. And when you are feeling grateful, you literally, you're becoming very small versus what the universe has offered you. So because of that, it is almost impossible to feel angry, stressful, or even anxiety, fear at the same time, right? So again, this is back to the happiness state, so key. 5th one, incentives. This is like really, really key. I'm sure all of us know this, but how do we actually implement this? Now, one thing I really want him to do, and I know he can do this, is actually read books on his own. Books is level, even Chinese, he can read about 80% his level on his own. But he is reluctant to do this on his own. He always wants me to take the lead first, then he will follow. And I want to build up his confidence, because I know he can do this, right? So I tried to incentivize him with money, and then the money he can buy whatever he wants. That didn't work well. But instead, when I give him points, and then those points can add up, and then we buy his favorite toy character, which is again a singing monster, which is no good, as you can see. But the thing is, when he showed desired behavior, and of course the harder the task, we give him more points, the easier a little bit less points. But conversely, we also deduct points for undesired behavior, like if he's uncooperative or he's rude, super rude, we deduct 10 points on 20 points straight away. Then give you an example, we give him 10 points if he's able to complete 2 books, English and Chinese, on his own every day, so 10 points. But then when he's rude, deduct 20 points. So you can see he is super receptive to this. He loves this system as well, and it also works well for us. We have seen him really reading, so I think that's really, really good. And of course, when he does that, I still give him very enthusiastically 2 thumbs up, right? And that's just boosts up his confidence even more. 6 is patience. Now, if you ask me, if I just were to pick one thing from this list, what would it be? I would say this: patience. Patience on the part of the homeschooling parents is super key, because we're really the leader. They really look up to us. Now, if we are patient, we are naturally calm. And if we are naturally calm, we will think of solutions. All these ideas you will be able to think of even better than this, I'm sure. Now, if you are impatient, you try and observe yourself. Next time when you're impatient, you're naturally in a more combative mode, and you look upon your child very lowly, as a very low human form. And in that way, you will talk to him as in a very commanding voice and a very condescending voice, and they can feel it. This kind of energy of impatience or negativity actually spread much faster than positivity. So be really, really, it is so key to be patient. 7 is mindful jar. We have I have, as part of the weekly lesson, 1 to 2 hours dedicated to art and craft. And I stumbled upon this book. It's called Mindful Crafting, and in it has a mindful jar project. And it is so easy to do, but yet it is so impactful, because the child can visually see, and he can also, use his hands to actually learn the lesson of being mindful. What's the lesson? The lesson is this: when you shake the jar, literally you can see the glitter move, and it's become very messy. You cannot see through, and that is like our brain when we are angry or stressed. We cannot think clearly. On the other hand, when the glitter and the water settle down, we can see through clearly. Our mind is calm then. So using this mind jar project, which he does himself, it is definitely very easy to impart the lesson and also to remind him what was the lesson. So the other day he was also stressful. I asked him just to take this, and then very quickly he became calm and continued with his work. So really fun and impactful project, easy to do as well. Perfect. Number 8, sleep. Now our body needs sleep as much as it needs oxygen and food. Sleep is so key, right? That as homeschooling children, we thought that they can sleep late and then wake up anytime they wish. No, routine is super key. When we sleep, our brain actually form connections, and these connections can also form faster when we have enough sleep, deeper sleep. These connections are very key to process information, to concentrate, to learn information, to learn new knowledge. Now, next one is food. It is so key to have clean food. Clean food puts you in a much more alert state versus if you have unhealthy food like very heavy carbs or French fries. All this puts you in a very sleepy state. So because why? Your body needs all the energy to digest the food versus going to the brain to process new information. So because of that, right, it's very important to eat clean as much as possible, especially during the lessons, so that the child stays alert and very ready to take in information and not sluggish. Last one is progress. This is very key. Let's strive for progress and not perfection. This is especially critical in week 1, because week 1 is the foundation upon which the child will reflect upon how does he feel, right? How is this like homeschooling? People will ask him, how is homeschooling? And his response better be, oh, I like it, yeah, it's good, okay. Listen, it's not like it's bad, every day he drags his feet to homeschooling. That would be really bad. So because of that, let's just aim for overall, if we have made progress, if he has done if you have checked off some of the objectives met even during the first week. We don't have to complete every lesson that we plan to do during the first week. Yeah, so that will be really key. And then we improvise along the way, right? Because if the child is happy, you are happy as well. And from there, again, we can all progress together. So that's all I have. I hope you find this useful. And let me know in the comments which one resonated with you most and which one will you first implement. Alright, and I hope you stay calm, keep calm, and make a difference in your child. And okay, all the best, and I will speak again next week. Thank you so much for your time.